The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hi everyone, welcome to this month's webinar. We're going to be talking about seaplane journeys from Hanoi to Halong Bay. We're going to try and keep things quite succinct so we don't go into your time too much. I know it's a busy time of year for everyone, but hopefully at the end of this webinar you should get an idea of what is essentially a great new product and how you can package up these trips with Buffalo and what your clients can get out of this new way of seeing Halong Bay. Okay. Okay, so we're going to look over a little bit about why Hyo Aviation. I'll give you a bit of information about the company. I'll show you the current schedule for flights between Hanoi and Halong. We'll look at the overnight cruise options, packaging with the overnight cruises at a glance, and then go into a bit more details on the itineraries. It's pretty simple stuff. And then we talk about logistics. So that will be Hanoi pickup and the luggage logistics, and also some scenic flight details as well. So first of all, why Hyo Aviation? I mean, first off, this is the very first seaplane company in Vietnam, piloted by international pilots from Canada, from Australia. Guys who have been working with the Sydney Seaplanes for a number of years are actually running this operation, and they're flying brand new Cessna Caravans that have been brought over from the States. So Halong Bay doesn't really take much selling. It's the #1 touring destination in country and one of the leading destinations in Asia. And this is a new and unique way of visiting what is essentially something which is quite familiar to anyone who's selling this destination regularly. We have longer term one-day packages, so for the first time you'll be able to have more of a relaxed one-day trip to Halong. At the moment you're looking at an 8-hour round journey maximum, probably around 7 hours if the road is good, for 3.5 there, 3.5 back. With the seaplane, obviously you cut one of those legs, so we're opening up one-day packages later in the year, early 2015, but we currently have a number of link-up packages with overnight cruising. So it's the way that you'll be familiar selling Halong, but instead of taking the road transfer, either a private journey or an SIC, you'll be able to fly, and there's a couple of different options for you. So I generally have technical problems with trying to move the slides along, so just bear with me. Okay, so here's the flight schedule. You can see there, at the bottom of the screen, I've selected 3 main flights to look at. There are 2 morning departures from Noi Bai. Now, Noi Bai is the main airport in Hanoi. It's an hour's drive from the old quarter. It's between 45 minutes to an hour. The new bridge, which will link up Hanoi directly to the new highway, which can take clients over to Noi Bai, is opening in the next 6 weeks. So we expect that journey time to drop a little bit further. But just to be on the safe side, we say between 45 minutes to 1 hour. So the 2 flights in the morning out from Noi Bai, traveling down to Halong, it's the 9 a.m. departure, and that's a flight plus a scenic flight. And it's the 10 a.m., which is the flight only. So the flight only is known as a taxi service. It's just between Noi Bai and the Tuan Chua Marina in Halong. The scenic flight is an extension. The flight doesn't land in Tuan Chua. It will do a loop, a 15-minute loop, and then it will land in Tuan Chua. So it's a slightly longer flight. We put it at 45 minutes. It can be up to an hour, depending on air traffic control. And again, you can add an extra 15 minutes on the flight only. The other flight I wanted to highlight is the scenic flight Halong Bay, and that's a 2 p.m. departure. And there's no taxi service back to Hanoi. That is purely the scenic section. So it's a 20-minute scenic flight, between 20 and 25-minute scenic flight in Halong Bay, starting at Tuan Chua Marina and finishing there. So these are the flights that we've packaged up with the overnight cruises. So generally clients are going to be purchasing a seaplane package as part of a cruise. And as I mentioned, the one-day cruise will be coming later this year. At this stage, because of the timings, it's very difficult to reach and come back from a standard day cruiser. So TMG are actually has purchased a boat, and we're renovating it now, and that day cruise will serve the higher aviation flights. So your clients will be able to get a better quality day cruise, and the timings will work for them and for the high-O flights. So that's coming at the end of this year, probably the start of 2015. The packages that we already have and are already selling, they include the different flight options I've just mentioned, those 3 different trips, and they're all from Hanoi down to Halong Bay. We can connect on with a flight back from Halong back to Hanoi. That can be included in the package, but at this stage the schedule is a little bit late in the afternoon, so clients would have to wait for a 4 o'clock departure. We're hoping that schedule can change. Okay, so this is at a glance. These are the 3 trips. We try and make it as simple as possible. They're all overnight cruises, and we have 3 options. So one-way flight and then a road transfer return. You have the round-trip road transfer with a scenic flight, and then you have the one-way scenic flight with the road transfer as well. So it is more simple than the way I've just said it. They're 3 quite different options, but they all have their own benefit. We come to prices at the end. We've priced these up with a range of different boats, so you get a bit of a feel for what the supplement price is as well as the standalone price for doing one of these trips. So let's start with the one-way flight and return road transfer. So this is the taxi service. You're not taking the 15-minute scenic flight. This is just from Noi Bai, flying down to Tuan Char Marina, and then you board your overnight cruise. So it's a one-way flight to Hanoi, to Halong Bay. It departs Noi Bai Airport at 10 a.m. This is the 10 a.m. departure. Arrives into Halong Bay 10:30 to 10:45, dependent on the air traffic control. Transfer to the marina to board your overnight cruise at 12 midday. And then you depart the following day by private transfer back to Hanoi. And this is exactly the way that you've already sold the packages. So with this option, you'll be transferred from Hanoi to Noi Bai via the small coach that is operated by Higher Aviation. That's included in all of these packages. So clients will be picked up in the morning from their hotel, transferred to Noi Bai, and there's a special check-in desk in the new part of Noi Bai Airport, and they're taken from door to door and helped with the check-in. Now, we've included private transfers for all of these trips to Halong Bay, and this is for the client's luggage. Now, if a client doesn't want to carry their luggage, and this is the case for all of the flight options out of Hanoi, if the client is fine to either leave their luggage in the hotel, then we can just include a seating coach transfer back from Noi Bai, back from Halong Bay the following day on day 2. At this stage, we include private transfer, so the guide will come early morning, pick up the client's luggage, and they will drive the client's luggage down to Halong Bay. The reason that we do this is there's a luggage allowance of 7 kilograms on board the flight. So the other option would be to purchase excess luggage, but then it becomes quite an expensive option. So if you want to take your luggage to Halong Bay, it will be as part of the private transfer. If clients are going to be connecting back on out of Noi Bai and flying down to Da Nang or Hue or Saigon, then the option is to use one of the luggage lockers at Noi Bai Airport. But at this stage, we think it's easier and simpler, and it will suit most clients to have that transfer, so their luggage is there with them waiting on board. So obviously the main reason why you take the taxi service is there's no early morning long road transfer. You're missing that 4-hour drive. It's really leisurely start to the day. And you also get some great views on the way to Halong. You're traveling over a part of Vietnam that is the Red River Delta, so it's very, very lush. You see beautiful paddy field views, and I'll show you some photos later. So although it doesn't include the Halong Bay scenic flight, it's by no means a boring flight. It's absolutely breathtaking. Some of the views of the paddy fields they rival Halong in my opinion. So that's the first standard option. Now, we can supplement that trip by the 9 a.m. departure. This is the mauve, the purple option on your far right of the screen. And this is the taxi service plus scenic flights. It's the 9 a.m. departure. It's exactly what I've just described to you. The same transfers to Neubai, the same transfer for your luggage. But the difference here is that the 9 a.m. departure includes that 15-minute scenic flight of Halong Bay. Now, when clients arrive in Tuancha, dependent on the cruise that they've selected, they will either just have a quick stroll. It's about 80 meters away from most of the Paradise cruise, for example, and they'll be assisted on that journey. Or if they need a longer transfer, for example, the Indochina junk cruises, that's already been included in the packages. Again, that's offered by Hyo Aviation. So what we've done with these packages, we've included all of the logistics that your clients are going to need to ensure that it's a smooth package. So these two options flying out of Hanoi, you have the taxi and then you have the taxi plus scenic. It's all pretty straightforward. Now the final option that we think will work for clients who just want a little supplement to the standard Halong trip, and it's obviously the most cost effective, is to take a scenic flight only and to take it on the second day of the Halong Bay cruise. That flight departs at 2 p.m. So the only difference from one of your standard Halong Bay overnight packages are that you need to have this as a private transfer, because when the rest of the boat departs back to Hanoi, you're going to stay. You're going to wait at the Hyo Aviation docking area, and they have a waiting room, air conditioned. It's a very nice standard waiting room. You wait for just around an hour and a half, and you'll be transferred out to take the scenic flight, which is actually longer than the one that's included on the taxi plus scenic. So you've got a 25-minute scenic flight. After that, you'll be picked up and transferred back to Hanoi. So these are the three packages. And again, we've written out the itineraries here. So day one, obviously Hanoi to Halong Bay, you take your overnight cruise and you come back either by shared road transfer or a private if you want your luggage there. Again, the same option for the transfer, the road trip, road transfer plus scenic flight. And again, what we just talked about with the additional 15-minute scenic flight, this is the 9 a.m. departure. So you'll have access to this slideshow, and the UK office are able to provide the full itineraries. I haven't put them all in this presentation because it may be a bit overwhelming. So let's have a look at the prices so you get a bit of a feel for what this cost is. So we've looked at the Lazuli, Aphrodite and the Paradise cruise, and these are the three different packages. So the 30-minute taxi flight, the 45-minute seaplane flight with the scenic tour included, and the 25-minute scenic only without the taxi services. And these are guide prices up until November, and they're per person prices. Now the supplement cost for the upgrades, again you can see before the end of November we have some pretty good offers available. We've negotiated some great rates with Hyo. So it's a good opportunity to upgrade your clients, give them the opportunity to see something a little bit different and be the first to try this tour. At this time of year as well, it's beautiful weather up in northern Vietnam, all the way up until the new year. Actually, it's not so hazy. You've left behind the majority of the heavy rain and of the monsoon period, and yeah, it's a great. You're going to get some great views. So it's a very good time to try it, and some very good early stage offers. So these upgrade costs, they also include all of the other logistics that the clients are going to need to be able to take, to add just the flight. We're not just selling the flight, we'll be including the SIC out to Neubai and the connection when you're in Halong. These are fully sound logistically tours, upgrade prices. Okay, so a quick look at the logistics. You've got a couple of photos here of the Cessna. Now, the luggage is is 7 kg. So excess will be needed if clients want to take that luggage on board. We'd say that at this stage it's easier, it's more cost effective if they need luggage to do that private transfer. So that's really the thing to remember. All the planes, as I mentioned earlier, are piloted by international captains, and they have Vietnamese first officers, and it's internationally run maintenance team, which is based out at Noi Bai. There's a team of in Halong Bay, the Tuan Chua Marina, and Hayo also have also recently purchased a small speedboat, so they're able to link up with other cruises that may be departing at different times, but that's coming a little bit down the line. So it's a big operation. There's it's very it's been heavily invested in, so it matches international standards, and it's benchmarked against the Sydney Harbour Seaplane service, and it's been developed in conjunction with Sydney Harbour Seaplane. So this is, although it's a new service for Vietnam, the guys that we have on board and the knowledge and experience of Hayo is second to none. It's the international standard. So this is a little bit about the logistics, and finally a couple of views that have been taken recently on the seaplane. So you can see that this is the scenic flight, and this is actually taken from the taxi service flight. So you're landing directly onto the bay, and the route that you take, it will vary dependent on the time of the year, on different surface conditions, and you really get down quite close to some of the to the landscape. You're not high and away from the scenery. You're right up close to it, and it's absolutely breathtaking and a unique and once in a lifetime experience. So from here, I hope you have a bit more of an idea of how the packages are working, how Buffalo combines all of the needed logistics in the touring packages, that we also have the day boat coming later this year, early 2015, and that we'll be launching trips down to the Mekong Delta around the same time. To talk about upgrading your clients who are already booked, then just contact the UK office. You have the uk.agents address there, you have telephone number as well. Also, if you're looking at getting some of the prices together to put out on your site, then again, just speak to the UK team. Both Na and Nandita will be able to help you there. And any more information, just drop an email and we'll be able to help. And when you're next planning to come out to Vietnam, again, this is the service that we're really keen to get people experiencing. So so let us know when you're over, and we'd like to help you experience Halong. Okay, thanks very much for your time, and speak to you soon.